You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Laec.
Together we are
Robre.
Welcome, family, to another episode of our show, and it's time to talk about SmackDown Friday night. It does not feel like a Friday night. It feels actually like a Tuesday or, like any other day of the week, because it was just the show is really going downhill. SmackDown just a few weeks ago, we had like the draft, new superstars, everything, and it's the build-up for Survivor Series, yet it does not feel anything important or special. They're not doing anything that's going to gather our attention. They're going to keep us like hooked into the TVs. Actually, they give us reason to walk away from the show. But Paul, SmackDown, even though Roman is still the tribal chief, it's still going down.
Yeah, I mean, Roman is great, Heyman's great, and all that. It's just their opponents that they have right now really aren't so great. And leading at the Survivor Series, we know what this is all for. And just to do a quick comparison, I feel like this show really suffers because, on this, they're told exactly what to do. Go out, say it like this, act like this, do this. When on AEW, it's, hey, go out, have a match, cut a promo, say this. Like, you can tell which company they're having fun, which company they're having to act, having to perform.
The restrictions, the levels, are very, like, you can clearly see.
And this show, it just seemed like a choreographed, scripted performance by everybody. It was awful, and just not a very good episode tonight of SmackDown.
Absolutely. Family, thank you so very much for being with us. Don't forget to keep supporting us by subscribing, hit the bell for notifications, and also give the video a like. Thank you for the support with, like, the NXT UK video. We always do this show. It's probably one of like the most enjoyable shows to do, just because at least the booking and everything makes more sense. Mustache Mountain one more time, they become the number one contenders for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships, Paul. Not the greatest show, but at least way better than this 2 hours of SmackDown.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we still saw some great matches here at NXT UK. Maybe not the winners you and I would have liked to see. And I was fine with, how they went with the tag team match, the Fatal 4-Way. I think we're going to see Mustache Mountain split up when they lose the tag team match against Pretty Deadly. And, this was a really good show. Like you said, I'd rather watch, I'd rather watch 4 episodes of NXT UK than watch 1 episode of SmackDown.
Exactly. Barry, I can go along with you, what you just said. I can echo myself in what you said. So, let's talk about SmackDown. Show started out with all the girls that are members of the Survivor Series team. We got to see Aaliyah, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, Shotzi, and then they introduced later on Sasha Banks, and they're saying, well, we're going to dominate. We're going to show that we're like the most important brand in the WWE. And then all of a sudden, when Sasha Banks come out, they start to go at it. So I hated this, and they actually went on commercial break. So what the hell was this? 2 minutes of that, and then, keep going, walking me through.
Well, I was going to say, we don't need to go into detail. Eventually, then Naomi came out, and everything broke down because obviously, Shotzi and Sasha hate each other. So they're going at it. Naomi comes out because Shayna Baszler is out there and Sonya Deville. So they all start fighting. And what does this eventually lead to? A tag team match. That's, and this is so stupid. I don't know why Sonya Deville, this is your Survivor Series team, and you're having them feud against each other. You're having them fight. I mean, Shotzi's good. Aaliyah, for some reason, I thought she was better than she actually was. In this match, she did not look very good. She looked like she was green as hell. It looked like a deer in the headlights. Thankfully, she was in there with, Natalya. Natalya was like, okay, I'm the most legit one in here. Do this, do
I'll
that.
help you.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, she did not look good. I thought she was better, in NXT for some reason. Maybe I had her confused with somebody else. I don't know. But long story short, she ends up getting the win, her first match on SmackDown. So, it's legit. Because she's really, to me, the sore thumb of the Survivor Series team. You see everybody, okay, these are the people they're pushing. These are past champions. And then Aaliyah, it's like, what? You would think maybe that's where Naomi would go. And they said, oh, that's probably why, because Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville doesn't want her there because of the feud and everything. But, stupid to have a match. Why are they fighting? And this pretty much set the tone for the whole episode of SmackDown. Just stupid booking, things that did not make any sense. And it was like, strap in, man. We got about an hour and 40
we got 1 hour and a half or so. So it's like, come on, keep dealing with the punches, because after that we got to see Sami Zayn, and he's just cutting a promo call, we might have our differences in the past, but now it's Survivor Series time, so we got to get together, keep united, and keep using each other or something like that. So you see Sami Zayn is planning something. So I guess that's the narrative you're trying to tell me. Jeff Hardy's right there, so what, did you hear anything? And he's like, just the last part. So you see tension from these guys. I love these guys when they actually were fighting for the IC belt. Remember that Clash of Champions like 2 weeks ago? Not 2 weeks, 2 years ago. That was great. This just sucks.
Yeah, this gave me, like kind of flashbacks of that as well. But I'm like, no, Sami Zayn's on his way out. Nobody is safe. We know that.
Yes.
And the way that they booked Sami Zayn here tonight was pretty much saying like, nah. It's like, hey, goodbye, El Generico. Go to AEW because, this is, I wasn't expecting anything legit. I remembered it like you did, but I wasn't going to expect it.
But somebody was like, stop thinking that. It's like, come on, stop dreaming, boy. That's not what happens here in the SmackDown. So let's move on to, like you said, it was a terrible in the beginning of the show. It was bad. You should not have your girls, members of the one team, fighting with each other. And now you do even worse because you take Aaliyah out of like the Survivor Series team just for no reason. Just like, hey, it was great. It was your first win on SmackDown. You were like alongside all these girls that were former tag champions, women's champions. But you know what? Pretty much, you're not going to be part of the team anymore. What's the point?
She just heard what she just heard what we said. She's like, so Jean Paul and Juan, they say you're green, they say you're bullshit. We gotta take you out of here. Yep. No, I really don't know what this is all setting up for. This is it's just bad. Yeah,
very stupid decision. Why would you just announce the teams on the internet, on Twitter last week? Even Ricochet sent a tweet is like, what happened with qualifying matches? Second of all, you give the teams. Why you start moving them?
Because this is the thing. When Survivor Series meant something, when the team that won, if there was a tag team, maybe they had bragging rights. Maybe they say, hey, we won the Survivor Series match. We won a tag team title match. People used it. It meant something. It literally doesn't mean anything nowadays. So because they do the brand versus brand, that's the matchups they want to see.
And they already know.
Yeah, that's the matchups they want to see. So the traditional Survivor Series matches, nobody cares. That's why they throw them together. And you know what? They care a little bit about the men's. They definitely don't care about the women's. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
they just
the women's
throw that together.
The most lackluster matches, like you said. So Aaliyah is out of the team. We'll see who comes in. Could be Toni Storm. Maybe we're going to talk about a little bit about her, but before we do that, Kayla Braxton's interviewing Roman Reigns, and he says, well, I don't care what you have to ask me, or the wise man, he says, like, I'm here, I'm going to respond every single thing. So he's kind of a little bit of a prick. He's a Universal Champion. He has all of that. He has the right to act that way. But then Paul Heyman also mentions about Xavier Woods, and he says that, tonight is he's going to make, Xavier Woods the king, acknowledge Roman and all of that. So
pretty much if Roman can't beat him in the match, Roman will acknowledge him, get on one knee, and if Roman doesn't, then they'll end up forfeiting the title. So it's like, if he loses, we're definitely going to see him, bend the knee and everything. So that was the whole big stipulation. And again, they're trying to do something to get us excited. Oh my God, is he going to bend the knee? No, we know he's not, because Xavier Woods is a joke.
It's not credible.
Nobody cares. This whole thing sucks because we're all just waiting for Brock Lesnar, or for those of you who still believing, your fingers crossed, The Rock. That's
The Rock,
all we're waiting
for.
For
At some point, Drew McIntyre. But that didn't happen. Like you said, this was also this is worth 2 seconds of our time. They had a segment, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, talking about making fun of the Viking Raiders. That's all it was. Whatever. Who cares? No, not even of importance. But let's talk about now Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boosh going against the Lotarios, because they switched their names, Paul. They're not Angel Garza anymore. This is Angel and Humberto. No more Carrillo. Of course, they like to shorten their names. But
when they just called him Angel, I was like, I'm like, he's so done. He's done.
Oh yeah, no. Now you said in the next wave of releases, there you go, bye bye. So enjoy it while you have it, guys. Save your money, start investing your money, start thinking of what to do outside of wrestling. So be a little smart about that. So they got the match, and in the end, we got to see of course Lotarios winning. They're starting to push them. So it made a lot of sense at the expense of the IC champion.
Yeah, but
he gets the pin. He gets
the IC champ, and who's the US champ, because Raw is a show that is we haven't touched that thing in forever, and we don't plan on doing it anytime soon, because it's still Damian Priest, right?
Yes.
Does anybody really care? If this was NXT, versions of both these guys, NXT Shinsuke Nakamura against NXT Damian Priest, hell yeah, give me that match. But do I care about main roster versions of these two guys going against each other? No. And to put these guys over, nobody cares. This is such a gimmick. This is a total 1980s, 1990s Vince McMahon tag team.
Freaky,
Like,
you know, Paul, like the name is Lotarios. Who trained Shawn Michaels? Jose Lothario. That's why they got the name from. You know?
I mean, it's so bad. It's just, and it's, when you watch it, it's insulting. I mean, maybe as a small child, you know, you don't know any better, but when you watch it as an adult, you're like, this is insulting. You feel embarrassed if somebody would walk in and be like, what are you watching?
It takes, you know, your passion. It takes your will. It takes, you know, like your fandom to proudly say, oh yeah, I love pro wrestling. No, you gotta kind of look sideways and be like, yeah, I like it. Did you actually say it? Is what I thought you said? No, I don't like that shit. So yeah, that's kind of how you feel. And you know, Paul, moving on now, like we got to see the debut on the main roster of Von Wagner. You know, I don't know what the hell was this about.
I'll tell you what this means too.
You know?
Hey, see the guy right there standing across from Mr. Wagner there, Sami Zayn. You know, the other redhead guy who was with Wagner, he's the same boat as Sami Zayn.
Kyle O'Reilly.
So
these O'Reilly,
they're saying, you know what, you're big. You know, you can talk decent. You can wrestle decent. Kyle O'Reilly's leaving next month. Main roster.
Yeah. And then that's the thing. You see the confusion. You see, like, oh, these guys, they're going to keep trying. You know, dark matches. 2 dark matches they had, Paul. Cora Jay's against the Dakota Kai. That was for the girls. And then they got Carmelo Hayes going against Trey Williams. Going against each other.
Oh, yeah, Trick Williams. Yeah, this is the only thing. They should, and now obviously this is just a joke, but they should change the name of NXT to NFL. And call it not for long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because nobody's there for long. You know, you're there for 2. You're there for a month. Whoop, main roster.
Not anymore. You know, nobody cares.
Not for long.
You know, they got a promo, and Pierce says that like you're gonna have a match with Jeff Hardy just because what you guys were saying. And by the way, the loser, you know, loses his spot on the Survivor Series team.
And the only thing that I absolutely hated about this is Pat McAfee was like, "Oh, look at that big guy," blah blah blah, and then Michael Cole like completely no-sold his existence. Like he didn't say, they weren't like, oh, that's Von Wagner from NXT, so I bet you they're changing his name and they're gonna debut him as somebody different. So what is the whole point of
and
NXT?
To me also,
we might as well stop doing NXT.
By doing that, like you said, it's like you're not giving like the consistency of the shows. It's like if you don't want to know where these guys come from, watch NXT.
And then if that means that's a developmental, if you want to say, oh, this is just your developmental gimmick, whatever, we have something different planned for you for the main roster, then just have it be on the network. Don't have it be on TV.
Yeah, you know, don't lose those 2 hours of USA Network. You know, USA canceled that. Get something else. Get like 3 hours of Chucky for like.
I was gonna say, yeah, just give it to Chucky. Who gives a shit?
Give it to Chucky. No, nobody gives a shit. So like, let's go like to at least one of the best parts of the show. Like you said, Charlotte is gonna go against Becky Lynch. You know, Raw against SmackDown. That's of course the team of the Survivor Series. So she says that like Becky, just has so many gimmicks, but she's a fabricated champion. Of course, yeah, she won at WrestleMania 35, but that was also because Charlotte allowed it. So she got like a chant going, you know, oh, like Becky, all of that. But then Toni Storm shows up. So this was good because a lot of fans complaining about why would you move, you know, Toni Storm, why would you put her in the main roster if you're not going to do anything with her? So Toni Storm said that like she asked for like a championship opportunity. And, you know, she says that Charlotte doesn't help anybody. She doesn't pull people over. She actually buries everybody. How about we have a match tonight? Charlotte says, hell no, nothing. So she completely like brushes her off. And what you see, like Tony's like, she's pissed off. Here's the thing, Paul. There was a report that came out that like Toni Storm is not featuring the Survivor Series team just because like this is not her month, quote unquote, her month. Meaning that in December all the way to January, she might become like the main girl going against Charlotte. So we'll see what happens. But this was like a seed that they threw. Like, okay, they might have a match at some point. So again, I mean, I kind of like that because Toni Storm deserves something before she gets released.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what, a couple weeks ago when they had the match, I thought, okay, Shotzi, Blackheart, a babyface, people like her, feuding against Charlotte Flair, that'll be a decent feud, you know, in between and afterwards, Becky Lynch, you know, Survivor Series feud. And then, you know, they turned her heel, so I'm like, I guess they're not doing that. Toni Storm here, this was good, and I love how Charlotte's like, you want a championship match? You want that right here tonight? And everybody's, yeah, she's like, hell no, and just leaves. And it's like everybody's hyped up, and then so I mean, this was good. And like you said, it plants the seed, and you know, don't hotshot this. Don't be like, oh, and next week we're gonna have the match. No, just I mean, hey, put the idea in people's heads, get this whole Survivor Series shit taken care of, next week. Then you can start this up.
Yes.
Then you can continue this.
And I feel they're going to try to do that. So
Yes.
at least this is good.
Yeah,
Probably
this I liked, and again, Charlotte's having a great match with Shotzi. I think she'll have a good match with Toni Storm, and maybe she's having all these good matches before she leaves. Who knows?
And she's also that's her Fair World Tour,
Yeah.
not even knowing that she's going to be doing that. So we'll see what happens. But like you said, that's we have probably one of the good points of the show.
Yeah.
Xavier Woods as like the king, it bothers me so much. The guy might be talented, but might have like some kind of charisma. The guy might love video games, we have that in common, but him being the king or leading something absolutely does not resonate with me. I don't know what it is, but like he's talking in the jargon of the king, or trying to like just be more polite and more royal, so to say. He's gonna like avenge Kofi Kingston and everything that they did, like the bloodline. So I mean, promo from Woods, I don't know how you felt about it. I don't want to. Yeah, it bothers me that he's the king. That's all I got.
No, I mean, you could easily just be having this feud, the New Day and the Bloodline. Big E's still the WWE champ, and this could be a heel Finn Balor as the king. You could turn Finn Balor heel. He lost to Roman, but now he's the king, and new persona a little bit. He's pissed off. This would have been perfect for Finn Balor. Instead, you chose to give it to Xavier Woods. So instead of the main focus being Big E and Roman Reigns, that should be the main focus.
Yes.
Because people also still mostly care about Brock Lesnar. That's
Yeah.
the main thing people give up. They don't give a fuck about Woods. They don't give a fuck about Big E. It's Brock Lesnar. That's what the people want. So then, okay, you squeeze Big E in there. Now you're also trying to squeeze Xavier Woods, King of the Ring, in there. Nobody gives a shit. It's too much, and he cams up the gimmick to the point of where it's so awful. I shouldn't even say this, but I'm glad. Let me just phrase it this way: I'm glad Kofi's not on TV, so we don't have to deal with him as well, because the two of them
it's true.
were insufferable. I'm not going to say I'm glad he's hurt, because I don't want anybody to be hurt, but I'm just glad he's not on television.
Well, like you said, like they took him up, storyline hurt, all of that.
Yeah,
the only
whatever.
thing I gotta say is like Xavier Woods will never be as credible as an opponent for Roman Reigns for the Universal title. If you had Brock Lesnar, you had Finn Balor, you had like John Cena, you had all these guys, Kevin Owens, you had all these rivalries, even Cesaro. It will never look like that.
Yeah, Edge. Yeah, you're telling me I'm supposed to believe Xavier Woods can beat him when, like you said, Lesnar couldn't, Edge couldn't.
Yeah, there you go. Or when you have all those guys lined up,
couldn't.
you're just gonna put Xavier
Cesaro.
Woods there? No, thank you. It
Daniel
will
Bryan?
never.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So you get Daniel Bryan. There you go. Bryan Danielson. Yeah. So that's what we see. This was at least funny.
And then when the whole time seeing this, because this was bullshit. This is the same thing like with Jeff Hardy and
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, and stuff. I mean, this is does Ricochet? Does he just bang all the girls that are like they kind of look the same, like short, tan, brown hair? Did he think that was Casey Catanzaro? He's like, you kind of look the same. Yee.
Yeah, put him there and Mustafa. Like we know he has like a wife and 3 kids.
Yeah, him and her took off, and just Ali stands there like, so. I mean, this is shit. Ali and Ricochet are fantastic wrestlers, and this is what they have them doing.
Yeah, no, it is true. So like it's boring and like
can we get Prince
the vibe
Puma?
of the show?
Can we get Prince Puma?
Yeah, just put the mask on, go back to AEW. Or go to AEW, go to Impact, do something where they're actually gonna feature you more as a wrestler. They're in this character. So, let's say about like this match that we had with like Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy. Decent at most, but it's because like we don't care. And like you said, when you take away like the importance of them, or like you take away my willingness to watch something, I'm not gonna give 2 fucks. And that was the thing. And in the end, Sami Zayn tried to cheat, and Jeff Hardy, like of course, did a good comeback, and of course, twist of face, swanton bomb, 1, 2, 3, and Jeff Hardy keeps his spot at the Survivor Series team. And then they took away Sami, and like you said, Sami has to sell it. Oh my God, they took away. And like
to me, that was taking him off the roster. And
yes.
The only thing I care about this is, I don't know if Team SmackDown's going to win or if Team Raw is going to win. It's really tough to say. But, if Team SmackDown wins, I hope Jeff doesn't get eliminated. Or I hope he looks good at least, because Jeff is one of those guys who he came out publicly, said it. It was put out there, and we all we want to see it too. Him against Roman Reigns for the Universal title. I would love to see him win it, obviously, but I'm not saying you have to. But at least let him have that match. Yeah. So hopefully that they keep pushing Jeff legit. But Sami Zayn, no, he's out the door. Him and Kevin Owens are going to be arm in arm, skipping out the door, like, yeah, la, la,
Oh
la,
yeah,
la. They're going to be so happy.
It's like, okay, buddy, we were here. Let's move on to the next company. You're right, absolutely. So let's talk about like something that a guy that like he can whatever they do. He's always saving himself from like being released, and that's Jinder Mahal.
And this was so bad that we don't even. They were rapping.
They believe they're rappers because they seem to be in a feud with Hit Row. So like dances and
So why did they release? Why did they release the one guy, but they kept the other guy for Jinder, and then they're feuding them against the group with 3 people?
Yeah, why did they release feedback?
No, Jinder's group.
Oh no! He also I agree with you.
Because
they moved the other guy to Raw though. He's not released. He's on the Monday
not released.
Raw.
I thought they released somebody.
No, they repackaged the guy and they keep showing vignettes about it.
Okay.
Still sucks though. Still sucks.
Yeah,
because,
but you shouldn't have split them up if you're gonna feud them. But see, that just shows that there's no planning ahead. They just do shit week to week. But no, this is bad. And as soon as Jinder and them started rapping, I said, this is the point where to be honest, if it wasn't for Rope Break, I would have turned off the show.
Yeah, no, that's the point that you actually if you want to go to sleep, watch something else, please go ahead and do it. Family, you do that and just watch the show because we are going to watch it for you. We take all of that bad vibe, all those negative emotions, we just do it for you. But before we continue, Xia Li, another promo, when the hell is she going to be at? Are they going to use her properly? Are they going to give her an opportunity, or she's going to be Xia Li from Nia and Shah that never really took off? Like you said, you already booked how she should be booked. A completely unstoppable all the way till she wins the championship. That never came to fruition. Why is this happening? We don't believe that Xia Li has a chance in the main roster. There's no way, because no woman outside of Asuka has been portrayed great. Kairi Sane.
And it took Asuka how long? And even when Asuka was portrayed legit, it didn't last very long.
And also, she went really down to go back up.
Because Asuka would look legit for 2 months, and then Charlotte would be like, I need a title, and they'd be like, okay, you have to lose to her at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly. It's like, oh, okay, I don't have anything. Oh,
remember going into WrestleMania? Oh, it's going to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, badass, and then it's like, oh, nope, Charlotte has to beat Asuka real quick for the title. Nope, I'm in this match too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how you kill a character. That's how you kill a woman. But at least Asuka's been able to go back up. But she's recovering from the injury, it's fine. But no other woman has even been portrayed as close as Asuka. So you think Xia Li will be a difference? No, it's not going to happen. So let's talk about Rich Holland, because he was just cutting another promo how he loves Sheamus. He sees him completely infatuated with Sheamus. And then Cesaro steps up and he just says, hey, he was a member of the bar. Sheamus has changed a little bit. So there's going to be a feud between these guys. This is good in paper, just because Rich Holland is going to have a credible opponent, but he's going to go over, and that sucks for Cesaro, because the Cesaro that we thought we could see is never going to come to fruition one more time. It's never going to happen. He's never going to win that title, and it was just Vince pleasing us for one, blue balling us for a little bit. That's all it was.
Yeah, Cesaro really, he's another one of those guys. When's his contract up? He'll go with Generico and Kevin Steen to AEW. Because he's not going to be used. This match will be great. Like you said, on paper, this is going to be badass. Rich Holland, I think Cesaro will make him look like a monster. He'll be able to sell for this guy. He'll lead him through a match to make him look like such a beast. And, him and Sheamus as a tag team, if that's going to be your SmackDown Tag Team Champions at some point, that's a credible tag team. It's a credible heel tag team. So that's pretty cool. But, at the expense of Cesaro, it sucks. Like you said, we wanted more for him. At least have him, why couldn't he be Intercontinental Champ and be, having legit matches? But
if you give Xavier Woods that type of match that we're going to talk about with Roman Reigns, Cesaro didn't even get that match, because when he had the opportunity for the title, the match didn't even was that great. So that says it all right there for us. There you go. Next week we're going to see Sasha Banks and Shotzi. They're having the feud, and this is before the Survivor Series, so that's why they're having this. This at least to make the show look special and to give it just like a main event. I'm thinking this is going to end up in a disqualification, because you're not going to have either war looks weak for the pay-per-view. So it's just like somebody I can promise you the other members of the team are going to step in, and this is going to end up in the disqualification. So this is what we're going to have right there, Paul. Main event: King Woods versus Roman Reigns. And the match, again, way more than you think for Xavier Woods. He actually was going to win the match. At the beginning, Roman dominated. Go ahead.
The thing I hate is, like you said, way too much offense for this guy. They try to sell Xavier Woods, but he's such a joke. You know, he's the way that he sells himself outside of, you know, WWE television and, you know, everything else is that it's wrestling is so fake. His character on TV is a character. Outside of this, no, I play video games. It's all fake. It's all we work together. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just saying he doesn't portray wrestling legit. So why should I believe him in the ring with Roman Reigns, who portray? You don't see Roman breaking kayfabe on the internet. Yeah. I don't see it. Every time he tweets on Twitter, it's always acknowledge me or this or that. You know, he's always in character. So Roman's so good. The fact that he has to like job, I shouldn't even say job, but that's how it feels. The fact he has to sell for this.
Sell way too much.
Yeah, he sells for him way too much. And yeah, McAfee on commentary, oh, this is how Roman Reigns matches always go. He always, you know, has to feel out his opponent in the beginning. No, he doesn't. He's the fucking tribal chief. He should just dominate him and kick their ass. Like, yeah. So McAfee tries to sell it, and because nobody was into it. Nobody cares.
And then then we got to see like the bloodline, the Usos like attacking Xavier and everything. They use it.
Because Xavier does his elbow drop, and it's like, oh my god, and it's like, you know, but no, that they interfere. And to me, that was stupid. Roman should have kicked out and choked out this dude, picked him up, shook him like a rag doll. The fact that Roman, like, it had to end like this makes Roman look so weak. Especially like you said, Xavier Woods. This wasn't Lesnar. If this was Lesnar or McIntyre or you know Lucius, if he was still here, you know,
if he would be Lucius,
you know, somebody like that, you can believe it. But Xavier Woods, are you kidding me? Even Big E, I would go okay. I would let it slide. Big E, but Xavier Woods, get out of here. This sucked.
Not even Kofi, exactly. Like, you know, you're saying that elbow is so potent that he can finish Roman. No, that was absolutely, like you said. He should have kicked out. Should have just, like you said, a big spear, comeback like the guillotine. That's what should have happened. But no, I mean, they took him out really quick, and then they crowned him as the new king.
Because technically he lost. I mean, I don't know. Did they specifically say he had to pin him? Because technically Xavier Woods won.
Because we're DQ,
So Roman would still have to kneel and acknowledge him, and if he doesn't, he has to forfeit the belt. So I'm like, what was this ending?
Oh yeah,
I'm like, this was so bad, and then I see that they might as well. Paul Heyman might as well be munching a freaking Whopper, and they might as well have a cardboard Burger King crown and put it on Roman's head because this sucked.
And again, this feud with Xavier is hurting Roman really bad.
Yes,
it's hurting because it's not credible. Even if it's Kofi, he's not credible. Like
that's why I bet you. I wouldn't even be surprised if Roman and Heyman are probably happy that this wraps up in a week from now because they're probably like, this is
shit. You know, you said it. Daniel Bryan, everybody wanted that. Even Rey Mysterio, we wanted that for like Rey, whatever it is. Rey has the credibility. We know.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Jeff too. You know, he's legit. He's a veteran. You know, he never got as many opportunities as he should have. You know, it's the same thing. That's why we want to see those guys.
Yes, unfortunately we didn't, so this is how the show closes, and that's how we are going to close the show. So family, thank you so very much. Don't forget just one thing, AEW Full Gear, Jean-Paul, myself, tomorrow, right at the beginning of Sunday, right after the pay-per-view ends. We're going to be, you know, talking about all these long matches. It's going to be a pretty long show, but we hope it's going to be a good one. There's going to be a lot of good matches. CM Punk against Eddie Kingston, and also we're going to see Hangman Page maybe becoming the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He'll be fine to put finally an end to Kenny Omega's reign. We'll see what happens. One more time, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also give the video a like. So more people actually can be exposed to us. Where else can they find us, Paul?
You guys make sure you follow us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...